Welcome to the Open to Hope Show. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Horsley, with my daughter and co-host, Dr. Heidi Horsley.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Heidi. Well, as you know, health after loss is a big issue. I mean, we have seen people gain huge amounts of weight.
Yeah.
We've seen them lose huge amounts of weight. We've seen them have heart problems. We've seen them have kicks up in their diabetes. We have seen all sorts of terrific health things happen. People just don't realize it, that you can have health issues after you've had a loss. And I know people are very interested in this topic and how they can take care of their health. And we have a guest on today who's been through a lot of trauma and is being good to her body. We're going to ask you this question: is grief stealing your health? And if so, what can you do about it? So Heidi, you want to introduce our guest?
Yes, I love that question too, Mom, because like you said, we've seen people get in a major health crisis after loss. And I know that after Scott died, you started working out a few weeks later because you felt like you needed to be strong and healthy for your surviving children. But you worried about what the neighbors were going to think as you were jogging through the neighborhood. And
Right.
so we'll talk to our guest more about that. And our guest today, her name is Donna Codell. She is a wellness educator, as you said. Her husband, Evan Michael, and her daughter, Jennifer, died within a year of each other. Her daughter died of cystic fibrosis at 43, and it was a miracle that she had lived that long because they were only predicted that she was going to live 15 years when she was born.
In fact, a lot of people die even less than that. It's incredible.
Yes, exactly. Donna's husband died of cancer. They died within a year of each other, and she wrote the book, There Are No Alligators in Heaven.
When Jennifer passed away, I said I needed to write a book and have everyone know how she lived her life and never to forget about her, because she was a very special young girl and lady. And I wanted people to get inspired by her story to never give up, because she never did.
Yeah, it's an amazing that she was 43 years old and she was married, right?
She was married for 18 years. She died a month before her 44th birthday.
Wow. Yeah. In December, and your husband also died in December.
Yes, a year later.
Yeah.
A year later.
Oh, and one of the ironic things about the whole thing, I used to work in a hospital. I'm a nurse, and I worked with a lot of people who had cystic fibrosis and a lot of kids. And wow, the parents, what you guys do, they're special kids, but what you do to keep those kids going is amazing. The devotion, the dedication, the time it takes to help those kids keep their lungs clear is amazing.
Yeah, there were nights that I was up all night long doing postural drainage on her.
Wow.
And sleeping on a pillow that you use when you go to college. I was in her bed. She had a water bed, and I was there, and every 15 minutes to half an hour, I would do postural drainage on her.
Yeah. What people don't realize is they don't know cystic fibrosis causes your body fluids to thicken, right?
The mucus becomes very thick and dry, and it gets stuck in all the organs. And she also had diabetes related, because if you get to be a certain age, that's what happens.
Yeah. And your husband then, ironically, was diagnosed in 2012 with lung cancer, which also impacts the lungs. And that's a hard thing for the family to deal with, and a hard thing for the person who has that, not being able to breathe. So you had two family members that had these pulmonary issues, right?
Correct. And my daughter helped my husband immensely. She was in Florida and we're in Illinois, and she and him would talk on the phone, and she just was his rock.
What inspired me was the fact that your husband took strength from your daughter, and he really didn't know what she was dealing with until he had to deal with breathing issues and his own lung issues. Right?
You can see what she's dealing with, but you can't feel it.
Right.
And he unfortunately felt everything she was feeling.
That's amazing.
Wow. Incredible. All right, now there you are, the quote, healthy one. How did you keep it going, girl? And how are you doing now after 3 years?
How am I doing? It's a struggle every day, but because I'm in the business that I'm in, I help people. I help people with their health, and that makes me keep going. I couldn't help my husband, although I did help him with Juice Plus. I doubled up all the products. They told me and us that he would die in 6 months. I gave him almost 5 years.
Wow.
But then I got involved with hemp oil because I knew it was very medicinal and very good for cancer, but I got involved too late. He had already passed. But I can help other people with the same issues and give them natural alternatives that they can take that won't give them side effects like drugs do.
Right.
And it's a good feeling to be able to help people and see the progress that they have. But when you say people gain weight and stuff like that, you know, when you're dealing with stress, stress is horrible and it causes a lot of bad things in your body. And if you can make one simple choice by just putting natural stuff in your body, you can build on that.
Now, do you work out as well as taking your product?
I work out 3 to 4 times a week, and I play tennis 4 times a week.
Wow.
And I have artificial hips and artificial knees.
Wow, good for you.
And I'm old.
And what?
You're young at heart.
Tell us about your workout. How can people start?
Well, you know, you can start by just taking a walk around the block.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to do. I think as we get older, we must do stretching and we must do weight control. Very, very important. And we need to put our body in balance. And if you go little by little, you know, when you think about all the things you have to do, I have to exercise, I have to not eat this, I have to do this, it's too overwhelming. Start with one simple change, and that's diet first, exercise second.
And you know, I like that idea, Donna. And I heard someone say once, rather than saying, I can't eat this and I can't eat that, say, today I can eat carrots and I can eat salad and I can eat this, I can eat fish. Tell yourself what you can eat, because then you're not coming from a place of deprivation.
Absolutely.
And I think one thing, Donna, that stretching does, I try to stretch every day, and I think that it puts you in touch with your body, because if you're getting in touch with your stomach and your arms just by laying on the floor and stretching, you know, putting one leg over the other and doing some simple stretches, it says to the body, whoa, this is how I feel in my stomach. Let's not fill it too full. You know, you lose touch with your body and end up in your head when you've had a loss. I think looking at those pictures of the person you love and that you're sad about, and, you know, all those memories and that kind of thing, which is natural in the early part of grief, just giving your body a little break. As Heidi said, I went out running after a couple of weeks, but I was ashamed because I thought my neighbors were looking out the window and saying, look, she doesn't care about her kid dying.
Not true.
Yeah.
Absolutely not true. You have to take care of yourself. You lost such a big part of your heart. And if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to lose yourself. And that would not be good. And really, you can't really think about what other people are thinking, because you have to do what's good for you. And they don't understand. They're not in your shoes.
Right. Well, and I don't think people really care that much anyway. I mean, they glance at and say, oh, you know, there they are or whatever, but they're not. They're busy getting their own breakfast or whatever.
Correct.
But we had somebody on our TV show last week talking about essential oils and how they were helpful for him when he had his sibling die and he got depressed, and he was using essential oils. So there are essential oils. Now you're talking about your product. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, hemp oil has essential oils in it.
Okay.
It's something that our body needs Oh, we have an endocannabinoid system that was founded in the 1980s, and we all have it. And it's our brain, our organs, everything, our immune system. And we have CB1 and CB2 receptors that we have to open up. And that's what the hemp does. It opens up these receptors to give you the health benefits that you need.
Is
And
this
whatever
oral or rubbing it on yourself?
Ours is bilingual. It's under the tongue, and
Oh,
it gets into your system within 5 minutes. It's liposomal, nano enhanced, and it's one of the best on the market. You have to be careful because most of them are an isolate, which it has only one CBD in it. Ours has 113, which works synergistically together to do good things in your body. And your body knows what to do.
This
It knows
is,
how to heal itself.
what about the juices? Is it juices you have?
No, it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule or a soft chewable.
Okay.
And you can get over 30 fruits, vegetables, grains, berries, and grapes for like $2.38 a day. $2.38.
wow. That's amazing.
Very well researched, close to 40 peer-reviewed studies published in leading medical journals. So we know it supports our immune system, our DNA, our systemic inflammation, which is the cause of most disease, and oxidative stress, and just all the things that our body needs every single day. And children can get it free.
All right. So tell me this. What else do you recommend to me? How do I get up in the morning and match my shoes after I've had a loss?
After you've had a loss, you really have to be motivated, and you have to have a support system.
Mm.
You need friends and you need family. And you really need yourself to just say, I'm going to go. I'm going to do it. I'm never going to give up. I want my husband and my daughter to be proud of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they're watching over me
Mm-hmm.
because I'm very spiritual, and I've seen other mediums that have read me and have told me things that I know they're talking to them.
Yeah.
So tell me about family member. Who helps you? Do you do any groups or family members? Is it your tennis group? Who helps you?
You know, I'm in my tennis group. I play bridge 3 times a week. My friends, my family, I have a sister, I have nieces and nephews, and I can count on them very much to support me.
Mm-hmm.
But you're really all by yourself. So you really have to give yourself a pep talk every morning. I go to a lot of meetings. I'm in a lot of network meetings, and people just support me.
So Donna, I
They
like
do.
what you're saying. I like what you're saying because I think at the end of the day, we're all taking our own individual grief journey, and even if we have people around, we're still on it alone. You said that you said that you gave yourself a pep talk every day. I was wondering what that looks like. Is it just like, Donna, you've got this, you can do this?
I look in the mirror and I say, I love you, Donna Codell.
I love that.
I love it.
Beautiful thing. I love that. Don't you, Mom?
A woman once told me that after her husband died, she took her lipstick and wrote on the mirror, I can do anything I want to do today. And I love it. You could put, I love you, Heidi Horsley or Gloria Horsley. I can do anything I want today, and just write it on there with lipstick. I love the way you get yourself up and going, Donna. It's amazing. I just wonder that year gap between your daughter's death and your husband's death. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Get through that. That is huge.
Yeah, it was huge. And, I'm not sure I grieved properly because I still feel like I'm grieving.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's not one day that I'm not in the car listening to the radio, hearing memories, and I start crying.
Yeah.
Well, 3 years is not very long, and you lose 2 of the most important people in your life within a 1-year period is very significant. And I'm wondering if at times you don't even know who you're grieving for. Is there ever a time where you're not sure, am I grieving for my husband or my daughter? Because you're grieving for maybe both at the same time, or?
I grieve for both,
Yeah.
but I think that when I went to see an intuitive,
Mm-hmm.
she wanted to know the names of the person that she should connect with.
Right.
And I said, well, I have two. She said, well, who's the most important?
Mm.
I says, they both are. And then I named my husband's name. And when I got to my daughter's name, I broke up. She says, that's the one that's most important.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, as a parent, you don't think you're going to bury your child. I mean, even though you feel like, they'll probably outlive you. And your daughter thrived for many, many years. So even when people say, okay, eventually she's going to die because she has cystic fibrosis, I'm sure it's still a shock when they actually do.
It was a shock because she was waiting for a lung transplant, and we really had hope that she would get one.
Yeah.
And when I got the phone call from her husband, it was from her phone. And she never got up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And I was very excited because when she was going to get her lungs, we were flying out there. And I thought, here, she's telling me she's getting her lungs.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was her husband telling me she passed away.
So sorry.
Wow.
Well, was your husband in hospice?
At home.
But you had hospice come in?
Yes.
So you had that support also for him, right?
Yes, we had hospice from September to December.
Okay.
Because he made me promise I wouldn't put him in a nursing home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and was that helpful to have him taken care of at home?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very helpful. The last day, the day before he died, I had a nurse stay over. I needed to get some sleep.
Yeah.
And we had the nurse, and she was supposed to come back the next day, and there was no next day. He passed at 3:30.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Holding my hand.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That
Listen, I wanted to get to the fact I'm getting such a kick out of you because you have gone online and you have a campaign where you were trying to raise $7,000 to give that book away to people. Is that correct?
Yeah, I had a GoFundMe.
Yeah, you
And
did well.
I wanted to raise money to write the book.
Uh-huh.
I didn't meet my goal, and I had some promises from people that didn't come through, but I did it.
You did it. I love that,
Yeah.
the way you're using the new media. Well, tell us how people can get in touch with you.
Well, they can get in touch with me. I have two websites. My website for my book is www.noalligatorsinheaven.
And how did you come up with that name?
My husband came up with it because when Jennifer was a little girl, she and him would wrestle on Sunday mornings.
Wow.
And she would say, Daddy, save me from the alligators.
Aww, that's beautiful.
And at her wedding, my husband gave her away and said, Mark, your husband will be saving you from your alligators now.
Oh dear. And what about your second website?
My Juice Plus website is www.donnacodell, CODELL.juiceplus.com. And then my third is www.dcodell.primemybody.com.
All right. Well,
the hemp oil.
The hemp oil. Thank you so much for being on the show, Donna. And gosh, good luck on your journey. Only 3 years is a short time, and I love your spirit and energy. Don't you, Heidi?
I really do, Donna, and thank you for sharing your husband and your daughter with us, and for being so committed to your health and to staying healthy and to living your best life despite the fact that you've had 2 losses.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And thanks everybody for watching this show today. And hopefully you'll be out there like Donna, if you've had a loss, trying to live the best life, your good life. And Heidi and I, and I'm sure Donna, want to remind you that if you've lost hope, Please lean on ours, and God bless.